I was over at a friend's shop the other day and I tried turning on his lathe and I kept going couldn't figure out what it was. Well, he has a completely cast tool rest. It doesn't have a hardened steel rod like Robust does on their tool rests. But anyway, what we wound up doing was we had to really work to get the bumps out of his tool rest. But we'll start on the easy end first. If you occasionally get a ding in here, which is really tough when it's a hardened steel rod like this, but if you do get one, you can actually come up with just some really light sandpaper and just come up in here and use the sandpaper. Now, more often than not, I will use sandpaper on here after I've turned wet wood because it builds up a bunch of gunk. And if you get a lot of gunk in here, you can take something like WD-40, spray that on there, grab yourself a paper towel, let it soak in, and clean it off. It really cleans well. Also, it does a little prevention of rust. At the same time, while you have that WD-40 on your rag, just come in here on the shaft of the tool rest and clean it up a little bit, and so that'll make sure that it goes in and out really easily. Now, if this is really, really bad and you have to really get this thing straightened out, do not stand here with a file or whatever, because you're going to wind up with a whoop and duh. So you take this here, you'll put a piece of sandpaper on here, and you'll put this on the ways of your lathe and slide it back and forth, because this is perfectly flat and that will restore this flat edge. Now, you're going to have to make sure you rotate it so you don't wind up with a flat edge, and you keep the curve on there so you can still use it. But that's my advice on how you can take care of your tool rest so it's going to last you a really, really long time.